250-pound barrier on the racetrack tells you everything you need to know about our next event. And if that didn't, this does. The water jump, symbolic of the 3,000-meter steeplechase final coming up. Only 5 of our finalists have met the Olympic A standard. There is one of them, Mark Croghan, ranked #1 in the United States, 1993, 94, and 95. Second fastest American in history. But at this point, all he wants to do is make his country's Olympic team. There's one of the men he will be racing for that spot, Mark Davis from Eugene, Oregon.
That water jump is 12 feet from the top of the barrier to the edge, and there you see just some of the marks on Mark. I called him earlier. I told him I called him on television. You know, track and field's answer to Dennis Rodman, and he said, "No, Dennis Rodman's the answer to me for basketball." That's right.
Davis, that's right. Call him Mark with a C as opposed to Mark with a K.
He smiled at me and walked away. We got earrings in both places. Mark is a very talented, hardworking athlete, lives up in Eugene, Oregon, trains up there, coming back from injury earlier this fall, and has been healthy for about the last 6 months.
Here's the list of competitors: Croghan, Robert Gary, Tom Nohilly, Brian Deemer, along with Mark Davis. Those are the men who have the Olympic qualifying times. If you look down through the rest of the field, Mark Johansson looked very strong in his opening heat. Can tell you just how much these 250-pound barriers can hurt you. Back on April 19th, while training for this event, he tripped, caught a spike on the track, and hit one of those things with his face. Unconscious for 30 minutes, 8 stitches in his lip. He'll struggled a bit in finishing his preparation for this all-important meet.
That is Greg Metcalf. He just got a shot of that Bob was talking about. 14 competitors line up across the track. This is it. 3 athletes, if they get under a qualifying time of 8:30, will go to our U.S. Olympic team.
First lap without the water jump. They will take the hurdles when they reach the start-finish line. 7 laps to go.
That is Nohilly up in the lead. And Mark Croghan and Robert Gary just kind of shuffling along and comfortably away from all of the pack here as they come by with 7 laps to go here.
Croghan has run 8 minutes, 9.76 seconds, a very quick time. Second fastest among Americans all time, as I mentioned. But the time is not as important in this race as is the place.
Only Henry Marsh, Bob, by the narrowest of margins, just 1/10 of a second, has the American record that he set back in 1985. Croghan has been the preeminent steeplechaser for the United States now for years.
Croghan, Nohilly, Gary, Gavin Gaynor runs 4th. Greg Metcalf is 5th. They continue to shuffle the order. They'll step off the interior of the track and head for the water jump.
These athletes are actually very coordinated people. You've got to be. Your training entails practicing just like a hurdler, running repeat hurdles, repeat barriers like this to practice. I actually ran this event in school, and you really have to get out there and run like an intermediate hurdler and get that rhythm down so you can do it very comfortably. Most athletes here can hurdle if they have to with either leg and practice that way during their workouts.
Moving up to 4th in the orange at the University of Tennessee is Tony Cozy. Lives in Knoxville, ran a personal best of 8:35.30 in his semifinal race. While this is going on, the women are Olympic Stadium as twilight continues to deepen here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're watching the final of the 3,000-meter steeplechase. When they come to the finish line, 3 laps remaining. Over the hurdles they come. Mark Davis has taken the lead from Mark Croghan. Tom Nohilly runs 3rd, Robert Gary 4th, Francis O'Neill 5th. But remember, this is a final. The only places that matter are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Bob, a man with an A qualifier, which means he's been under 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and if he finishes in the top 3, he goes to the games. Is the man in 3rd, Tom Nohilly, at the 1992 Olympic trials. In a 4-person blanket finish, only 3 people would go to the Olympics. He lost out. And amazingly, usually guys with great speed make the team. He has superb 800-meter speed. That man, Tom Nohilly, let's keep an eye on what he does here. But he's run 1:49 for the 800 meters, and it's really not his specialty, not even close. He's a 3,000-meter guy. So you would think if somebody's beside him, he can outkick them.
The two Marks have forged to the lead as they hit the water jump. There'll be 2 laps to go next time by. Mark with a K. Mark Croghan leads Mark with a C. Mark Davis.
The man in fourth also has good speed. Robert Gary, a 4:08 plus high school 1600-meter runner in red, is a man to keep your eye on, too, for that third spot in the team if things don't change much with 2 to go. Look at the lead right now by Croghan and Davis, the 2 classes of 3,000-meter steeplechasing for the United States.
This is essentially 2 races. Croghan and Davis out front. And the battle is for third place. Right now it is Nohilly and Gary, but Francis O'Neill has pulled within striking distance of third place now as well.
Davis in second place having real problems adjusting his steps. He's almost right up to the barrier before he seems to get his steps down. He's really had trouble at a lot of the hurdles.
Gary trains with Mark Croghan, who leads this race and is now pulling away from Davis. Around they come. 2 more trips over the water jump. Croghan, Davis, and now Gary has taken third place from Nohilly. Francis O'Neill. There's Brian Deemer, who was the #1 ranked American before the Croghan era began. And now Mark Croghan leaves Mark Davis. Davis slowing noticeably. He might be within reach of either or both of Robert Gary and Tom Nohilly. 1 lap to go, and Croghan is sprinting hard. Davis had a quick look over his shoulder. He is in desperate circumstances. Here come Gary and Nohilly. 3 more hurdles and 1 water jump remain. On the left is Davis. Gary in the middle, now sprinting hard and closing the ground to the second-place runner with every step.
Look how fast he goes by Davis. No fight from Davis.
And now Davis looks back, wondering where Nohilly is. I'm in third. This is my last shot.
Nohilly knows he's looking around. Obviously a sign of weakness. And Nohilly is gaining on Davis.
Nohilly was 4th back in 1992, as Larry described. Will he be 4th again? Or will he run down Mark Davis for the 3rd and final spot on the team? Gary, it looks like, will catch Croghan. Now Croghan picks up the pace. Davis sprinting hard, looking over his shoulder. Nohilly trying for all he is worth. Croghan, Gary, and Davis. And spare a thought for Tom Nohilly, who is 4th again.
Oh, it's just so bitter for the man bent over holding his knees. Davis makes the team. Nohilly, there he is, comes in 4th. The pain of all that training to go through so many months and to miss by 2 steps. 8 minutes, 18 and 81/100ths of a second. Very solid time for Mark Croghan.
A solid time is cold comfort right now. The 3 men ahead of him all have Olympic qualifiers. There is Mark Croghan, the 1992 Olympian, who will return to the games here in Atlanta. There's Brian Deemer coming to congratulate the others in a passing of the torch. There are your unofficial results. Croghan, Gary, and Davis will be back.